So before presenting, I have few statements. Just let me correct if I'm wrong, and please agree with it if you're right. So you are an animal activist. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. The video clip that you have shown to us is related to few industries, related to meat industry and the slaughtering of animals. It can be in the terms of belief also, like few of the religious places, the things that goes, and somewhat related to the industries. It's correct, right? Okay, so my question is, I came up with few datas. It's related to the economic data. The meat sector in India is growing at a rate of 6% CAGR per annually, and meat sector has been contributing 2.5 lakhs crore amount per year. This generate 5% of the total employment in an economy that leads to 8 crore people getting employed at the same time. Now, relating to states, Uttar Pradesh 50% of the contributing 50% in terms of exports in animal products, meat industry and dairy things. Andhra Pradesh stands at a point of 15.2%, whereas West Bengal stands at a point of 10.9%. Now, my question is, as a coin has two sides, so one side is protecting the animals, and other side is people. Other side is people don't have any other source of livelihood. That's the only source of livelihood for them. So, being an animal activist, would you protect animal at the cost of snatching anyone's livelihood income and letting them unemployed?
100% yes. 100%, no doubt. And but I think it warrants I give a proper answer to that. We have, so first I want to speak it again from an ethical perspective, then I'll come to the numbers you mentioned. I'll give you a proper answer for everything, don't worry. We have this notion as human beings where we just don't see certain animals as victims. We have victimized them to such a degree, they are not even considered as victims. When someone is killing an animal, and I am stopping that person from doing so, understand that the person killing the animal is not the victim there. Just like how, if the same person decided to kill you and your family, and I decided to stop them, am I the villain or the hero? So first of all, we have to think of it from the victim's perspective. Now, does it mean now we ignore the fact that this is an impoverished person and society is messed up? No. This system existed before I was born, or you was born, before all of us. And it's been there for hundreds and thousands of years, deeply entrenched within a society. Not to mention, with the way the world, modern world currently looks at development in a nation is through GDP growth, through money, the root of all evil. The root of all evil is what we base on how progressive a nation is, unfortunately. With that being the case in this current scenario, we have just objectified and commodified animals and turned them into money, and we're seeing how progressive we are. Now, how do we help create a system where we save these animals at the same time we can also help these people who are stuck? Because they're stuck. It's not like, oh, okay, I won't kill you, I'll go find another job. They can't do that. They're literally having no other means of employment. I'm very well aware of that. It happens through the following ways. This is a capitalistic society, whether we like it or not, a consumer-driven capitalistic society. In this society, supply equals demand. Depending on what the public want, the supply will meet it. These impoverished people who are right now raising animals as livestock, be it in the dairy industry or having poultry farms, they are not necessarily raising these animals because they want to eat them themselves. In fact, many of them probably don't even eat those animals because they can't afford it. It's better for them to sell the animal off at an auction and get the money and just buy something else at the ration shop. Right? For whom are they breeding the animals? For us, the more affluent part of society. So therefore, when we begin to change, the demand once again will drop for these animal products, which means they'll now be standing with 3 goats and being like, hey, no one's buying these goats. There's nothing left for me to do with them. Maybe I shouldn't do this business. But then what else can they do? This is where, again in capitalism, when the demand for one sector drops, invariably there has to be an uplift in another sector. Meaning the man who used to now transport on his lorry chickens has to now transport jaggery and sugarcane. The old lady at the beach used to sell fish and crabs, now has to sell peanuts and corn. Why? Because people are not buying the fish. People are no longer buying chickens. That means when these people will have to move over and find other jobs which will exist. For example, take this. Postmen used to have a huge amount of work just around 30 years ago. Because of emails and WhatsApp, people don't send much posts anymore. It's very less. It's reduced by a lot. Did all of them lose their jobs? No, some still exist, but some have moved on to other jobs. For example, right now in the train station, there used to be so many coolies who will carry your luggage. Ever since the invention of wheels on these carts, many of them have disappeared because people just pull their luggage along. Not to mention, the best example I can give is this. When I was young growing up, we used to have a calculator, a computer, a DVD player, a separate phone which you put the number like that, all these things. All of this can now be found in just one device in my pocket, and that's my phone. What happened to the people who used to work in the DVD sector? The people who used to work in the sector, they found other jobs. Now, am I saying that this will be a foolproof solution where when the world becomes vegan, we'll perfectly be able to give jobs to everybody? No. Just like any other change in society, this will also bring up so many challenges. But I am saying that we, the human race, has to be willing to go through those challenges rather than throwing the burden on the animals and just continuing the status quo unquestioned. That's my whole point. Status quo means what's currently happening right now in society. So there will be a new market demand. That can be for more dals, more grains. Maybe, let's just say right now the demand for all this soy milk and stuff is less because less people consume it. What if many start consuming it? That dairy farmer is like, oh my God, no one's buying my milk, but they're all drinking soy milk. Well, guess what? I'm going to start working in a soy mill. I'm going to start planting my own soybeans. They're eventually going to do what they need to do to make money. They will find their way out because that's how the market just works. There will be difficulties. Again, it is the poorer section which will have more difficulties as usual. The affluent will probably get away with it because we have our IT jobs and other stuff regardless. But we have to take the burden of the animals back. Because in this scenario, they are the victim. And we can help make this change happen by merely changing our consumption habits. Because like I said, the consumer at the end of the day is king. We do decide what is, look, if dog meat was very much consumed all over India, it will be served. It will be served. For example, it is illegal to slaughter cows in certain parts of India. I come from Tamil Nadu. Do you have any idea the amount of beef they eat there? Why? Because what about the other feelings? Doesn't matter. Where there is demand, there will be supply. So once there is vegan demand, there will be supply, and these people merely have to move on to some other job. That's the best way I can put it. And lastly, I agree with what you're saying. We are measuring all this kind of money in these sectors and growth and stuff. But that's just pure evil. I look at it as slavery. I mean, in the olden times, people could say like, hey, look, I'm a slave owner. I have 10 slaves and I make so much money. Yeah, but you're the most immoral person on earth. So that's my point. We should not, ethics comes first always. We have to change to create a better society. That's my answer.